after a podcast or two ago, guess who's not making a comeback?
Aw,
Henry Cavill,
This makes me so sad.
my boy.
This
They killed
and the,
my boy.
and the Disney CEO feels like industry gossip that I just can't get enough of. But yeah, James Gunn got in for DC.
laying down the hammer.
Yeah,
So-
executing talent left and right. You're
Just-
no longer part of this.
He's just starting over. I mean,
He's
just
wiping the-
completely-
This
he's
is
He
a
is.
full-on
wiping-
reboot.
Yeah.
He is. There was a lot of questions. What are they going to do? Are they going to keep stuff? Because there's pretty rabid fan base of support for these original Zack Snyder characters.
Rabid being the nicest term.
Yeah. And
They're insane.
so there's been a lot of, speculation. And then for DC to come out after Black Adam and say, we're bringing Henry back, and he came out so boldly with that statement and then quit The Witcher. I think that's what's the most heartbreaking of all. He quit his Witcher so that he could go back to being a movie star.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, pump the brakes. We really respect you, but no thank
We'll
you.
talk-
I don't know. I would fire the agent after that.
So fired.
Nothing is safe in Hollywood, and this lesson proves it.
Right.
You know what's the safest hot take I've made in a long time?
What's that?
Guess who the new James Bond is going to be?
Oh, Henry Cavill.
Guaranteed.
Put it down.
Guaranteed.
I'd
Write
like
it
it.
down.
I'd like
Chisel
it.
it in stone.
He
As
needs
chiseled as his body is.
Yeah, he needs to pivot to something.
Well, yeah,
And I
but
hope
he's perfect for that, and it's going to fall in his lap at this point.
I mean, there's been
Yeah.
rumblings that they want to go younger, but if Henry Cavill's available, like,
That is younger.
He's like
yeah,
early
yeah.
30s.
Yeah.
I'm sure by younger in the industry, it's like 20-year-old white male.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No,
This
if
wouldn't
you
be a
can
bad
get-
pivot.
If you can get
Yeah.
goddamn Superman to play James Bond, you do it.
Yes.
You don't.
He became available. You get snatch that right now.
yeah, I'm not worried about, him losing out on jobs moving forward,
was
but
just
this
so
was just a really bad timing of things.
A kick in the balls to him.
So,
These are two real projects that he really fit into, like really
Yeah.
embodied.
yeah,
He thought
for
he
sure.
had this, and so it does appear that James Gunn now and his partner are just going to get rid of everybody. So I don't.
That's
I
the
just.
sassafras guy.
I don't know
Sassafras, Peter Sassafras.
how they can do it with Jason Momoa. Like, I think there's been other Supermans. There's been other Batmans. There's never been another Aquaman. Can you
Because no
replace?
one wanted to make Aquaman.
Can you replace the original? Like, they can't do it with Iron Man. Are there certain characters that got played by certain actors that you just cannot replace?
As much as I love Henry Cavill as Superman, I said on a few episodes ago, he's
Yeah.
kind of my Superman in a
Right.
way. There's so many actors that could play these types of characters.
Once the wells run dry, Cody, you're gonna see somebody play Harry Potter that is not Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen.
Just wait for that when we have the ultra diverse Harry Potter where everyone has a different color or language or
Gender.
disability or gender, or it's
Yeah.
gonna be it's gonna be so overwhelming. You're like, you're gonna need a map to watch
Unrecognizable.
the movie.
Sure.
It's like, oh, it's a bunch of British kids.
Well, between our sadness for Henry Cavill and possibly Jason Momoa, it also sounds like Gal Gadot may also not be able to come back as Wonder Woman. There's was rumblings that Patty Jenkins walked away from Wonder Woman after not liking the notes that she received from the studio for the third movie. She did come out and say that the way she was described in the reports was false, but at the same
That
time
she was open to changing it up.
Yeah, exactly. She didn't just give them the cold shoulder and say no to
Right.
them completely. But at the same time, it did sound like within the tweet that she sent out or whatever that she also probably isn't coming back just because of this
Oh.
full reboot that's
She's-
kind of
she's
sounding
not
like
coming
it'll happen.
back to anything.
Yeah.
Patty
Ms.
Jenkins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
DC related? No, probably.
Ms. Rogue Squadron, Ms. Wonder Woman 3.
She did mention that. She
Yeah,
said it was
of
in
course.
active development,
Yeah.
but that could mean anything, and we'll probably hear sooner or later that that's not happening.
Yeah.
Like most Star Wars projects.
Literally the easiest Star Wars movie to make, where you don't need any characters or character development. Have giant space fights.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Sign me up.
With literally, we saw Top Gun.
Yeah.
You could have Top Gun in space. And Disney is still
put
like,
Tom Cruise
no.
in an X-wing and make this happen.
Yeah. Patty Jenkins and Tom Cruise. I'm there for that pairing. In space, in planes.
Yeah, so that's not happening, and that was the first indication that sent shockwaves through everything. But people were
Yeah.
like, well, she did have not a great run on the second one. Maybe it's just an isolated, and then Henry Cavill gets next. So now you know that they're all on the chopping block. Like, why would you keep one of them like Jason Momoa and then get rid of everybody else?
Yeah, all those Snyder castings from years ago, that's it's most likely going to happen that they're not going to be happening anytime
Right.
soon.
They're going to finish
It's
out
going to be all new
any
cast.
contracts that they have.
Yeah.
And
So like the Flash sequel, the Aquaman sequel, those are
Yep.
going to be released still. I don't think they're going to be wiped away or
does
not
this
going to
change
streaming.
those though? Does this make it so that people are like less excited about these? Does the carrot of this could extend further? You
Cody,
got to see what this
Are
is.
you going to be less excited to see Jason Momoa?
No.
Okay, then
Yeah.
that's your answer.
I mean, right now,
I'm going to be so excited because it might be the last bit I get of him.
I think right now people will say that, and then once they see trailers, they'll
Be
be
excited.
interested. I'm not sure about the Flash, but I think Aquaman 2 will be
Yeah.
the one that people really gravitate towards.
I think they did give Ben Affleck his Batman, I think, is done, but they are offering him some directing. So he must have had a contract that they had to give him a job of some sort.
But he's
Possibly.
But he's a good director, so that makes sense.
But
Yeah.
he's won at least one Best Picture Academy Award for Warner Brothers. They'll do whatever
Yeah.
they need to
Yeah,
do
they
to keep Ben
still-
Affleck around.
Yeah, they still want to keep him happy, even through all the chaos and Ben Affleck's own chaos that's happened
Yeah.
throughout the
But
years.
he seems to have settled down a little bit.
Yeah, he's doing good.
J-Lo got him worked up, so he's
he's,
good.
he's a lunatic, but like,
But we love him.
yeah,
Right.
no, he's
But he's from Boston. We get it.
Yeah.
we don't technically get it, but
No. Montana's not the same as Boston. We know.
So they're now saying that also Black Adam 2 is not happening because they're saying it underperformed. I think it performed exactly where we all expected it to perform.
It's still-
Oh, that
it's still
we
on-
expected it.
Yeah.
Not the studio.
as of today, it's still on screen in most multiplexes.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not like they're poo-pawing that.
It underperformed. I didn't even look at the numbers. This upset me, and I got so upset I didn't even look at what the box office was for it because I was like, "Are you kidding me? This movie was garbage."
I think
and it made a ton of money.
I think it made about 300 million domestically.
Isn't that what they all shoot for? Isn't that benchmark? Like, okay, this is going to be in...
With Dwayne Johnson, I think the expectations were higher.
Why? There had been no movie that he had been in where it would have
This is
done
his
more than
biggest-
Again,
that.
I think it's
Said-
superhero genre. They
World,
thought,
worldwide, $390 million.
oh, there was worldwide?
Yeah, domestic 167, but
Oh.
that's a solid number.
I feel like that's really
for
solid.
for a one-off or a brand new superhero.
Yeah.
I was
That's
way
not,
off.
That's
Yeah.
not technically even a superhero.
No.
Like,
Yeah,
It's
right.
you know,
Anti-villain
yeah, whatever.
type of story. At the same time, it wasn't that good.
No,
It's
it wasn't.
fine.
It was
It was
not that good.
serviceable, but
Yeah.
No, it was not good, but it opened to $67 million. Like you
Yeah.
can't. What they're remaking so much hot garbage out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like this was not hot garbage. It made money. It was a
Yeah.
good October release. We need more of these.
yeah, I don't
tweeners.
know. I mean, if like the actors who are in the Shazam movies and even the Black Adam movie, I guess, come back, I'd be fine with it. Like, I don't tie them as closely as like all of the other.
The main
Castings.
Justice League core.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and there was still the after credits scene with Henry Cavill and Black Adam, whatever. But
Right.
if they keep making those movies, I'd be fine with that. I like the Shazam movies.
Me too. I'm actually so excited for the new Shazam movie.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
It
got
should be that
Helen
good
Mirren in it.
B-title superhero movie that
Right.
still does good business.
Yeah, we can all see
Stop it.
You're alone in that island, man.
Yeah.
Helen Mirren as a supervillain. Get out of here.
She's sassy.
Why not? That's awesome.
Yeah.
She was sassy 15 years ago. She played a retired assassin 15 years ago. She is old now.
Eh. Why not coast?
Right.
You've proven it.
Yeah.
Coasting
coasting.
as being in a $200 million movie.
Coasting
If your name is
works.
Helen Mirren, yeah. Absolutely it is.
Oh,
I'm excited for what this could mean for, these types of movies moving forward, because, they still are popular. They're still going to do well in movie theaters. And I just don't want there to be so much noise that movie theaters may have to deal with, possibly. I just want there to be a smoother ship than, all the Batman v Superman stuff and all of the Justice League stuff that happened. And it still feels like it's going on even still.
Theaters used to be a place where you had these subjective, opinion-drenched discussions that didn't really matter in the world.
Okay.
And now we found ourselves in this place where politics is involved in movies.
Yeah.
And God, I mean, the windowing and the streaming BS that goes into this, and
red state versus blue state movies.
It's such a crazy dynamic. Hence, I'm ready for Avatar with the blue people to take over the box office this weekend.
This may be unpopular opinion, but
it is.
I don't think that James Gunn should be penning anything in the new one. I don't like his take on Suicide Squad. I did not like Guardians 2.
We forgot to mention that.
He's penning the next Superman, and I'm like, I think you're well dried up. I'm not interested in anything he has to do anymore. So I think that added more onto me losing Henry Cavill as Superman and burning him, because
you're gonna keep that guy, but
I'm like the Suicide Squad guy Suicide Squad did so bad. His version
I still don't get it.
It's so dumb.
I'll never get it.
So poorly in theaters, and yet he is going to be the master of this universe. No, thank you. Like
I do agree to an extent, because I don't really like the idea of like a writer, director, creative sort to be doing business decisions, although his partner is more of a producer than he is, so at least there is a guy that could get him to be realistic.
Yeah, but he has to deal with the fallout of James's creative decisions.
Yeah.
He has to go get me this actor, fire this actor, because I want to create this weird universe now.
Correct. He's trying to be his own version of Kevin Feige. Well, Kevin Feige never made or directed movies.
No, he was like a normal person that put a lid on that creative talent.
He was a producer that handled that stuff.
Right, but he's like a normal. He's not out there being like, I have a vision. No,
he kind of is.
He is a little bit, but he goes a little Steve Jobsy from time to time.
Yeah, I feel like he puts bumpers on the creative people. That's what a good producer and manager would do.
Yeah,
you don't stifle. You just put bumper guards in so that they get all into one lane and all are moving forward in one direction.
For sure.
Well,
I don't think James Gunn can do that.
I think that was part of an interview I saw with him where his notes on Avengers Endgame was keep it under 4 hours. Right. That was his notes to the Russo brothers. Keep it under 4 hours, guys.
For the love of God.
You guys know what you're doing. Just keep it under 240 minutes.
God. Too much movie, man.
It was a big movie.
That's a big movie.
And speaking of another big movie, we have Avatar coming out this weekend.
Yeah. Did you guys know that? Anyone excited out there?
I just don't know if James can craft a narrative that makes sense for all audiences, that's not too much on the creative side, not too much in depth on the comic books. You got to remember, you're creating it for audiences that don't care about comic lore at all.
Sure.
And not to get too much into the fanboys, but to give them enough that they get excited.
Out of curiosity, do you think the first Guardians did that, or do you still...
I like the first Guardians. I think that was still really good. And then he just lost it from there.
Sure.
I don't think anything after that was very good.
Sure. Okay.
Well,
he had one good idea, and he's riding on that.
He's made other movies than Guardians, Cody, and Suicide Squad.
Not in my world, and not in
We know, because you haven't seen them.
Yeah. He made horror films before that, didn't he?
Low budget horror films.
Yeah.
That are solid films.
No. They're garbage. Well, nobody's seen them.